Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, welcome right on in to what do we got going on? We got Wrestling with Emotion. We got the panel here. What is going on, boys?
Hello, gentlemen.
We had the ones up. We had the ones up. I thought people were telling me to stop. You cannot have me stop, folks. This is Wrestling with Emotion, Night of Champions edition. We got picks. We got a great show ahead today. Obviously, hopefully, taking place live in Saudi Arabia. And then we obviously have more wrestling action tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But it is all about today. It is all about not wrestling with your conscience. It's not wrestling with your budget. It's wrestling with emotion. You see the panel. We got Mr. Micah. We got McAdoo. We got Partham. We got Ernie Green, the voice of reason. Gentlemen, boys, how are we doing today? How are we feeling rolling into this really big wrestling weekend?
Whew, love it. Love that Memorial Day weekend's a big wrestling weekend now all of a sudden. So we've got 3 events. NXT tomorrow night too, crazy enough, going head to head with Double or Nothing. But we start off here today. I'm very excited. Don't you guys love Saturday afternoon pay-per-views too, or PLEs? Like, I love a good noon, 1 o'clock start, have the whole night after. So I'm excited for the start.
Everyone knows I'm always jealous of Ernie, but seeing a pay-per-view with the sunlight out, it's something special.
Well, I'm going to see it too. Go ahead.
The builds haven't been exactly the best, but there's a lot that's up in the air about the future just this summer for both AEW and WWE going in. And there's a lot, I think, that's going to be answered in the next couple days and even maybe over a month. So despite how blah and how much there is to sort of, dissect and maybe even complain about, there's a lot that's we're going to be fascinated by to see how it all turns out.
All right. Well, hey, let's get right into it. We know on this show, we always break down what is going on in the world of wrestling and our favorite thing. Right now, I have thrown the bloodline, let's talk about WWE. Let's just go in that scope since it's kind of centered around Night of Champions here as we get ready for the show in just about 45 minutes. With that said, what is the favorite thing in our WWE world of wrestling? Ooh, let me get our faces up here.
Ooh.
Favorite thing in the WWE world of wrestling. I will kick it off. I mentioned it in the chat the other day. Triple H opens a press conference in Saudi Arabia. I mean, not something he's doing every day. He's doing it, about once or twice a year for the last couple of years. And they are chanting L.A. Knight. Yeah. That's pretty. So I will say, it's good to see that there's clearly a fan base that is behind LA Knight. You see the reactions at the shows, but sometimes you wonder whether that's translating. Obviously, they're sticking with the big money tickets. There's a reason that Reigns still has the titles. There's a reason they're extending some of these storylines. They're making a ton of money. Maybe they're afraid to pull the trigger here. But I think that our guy, LA Knight, is laying and waiting and could be a big player coming up in Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the reactions at the shows. Do you mean those piped in boos that they're putting in for LA Knight?
Terrible. Just terrible. Anyways. Go ahead, Artham.
I mean, what do they want to do with LA Knight? He's being booked as a heel, but people are responding pretty positively to him. So, again, it's WWE trying to push their agenda on who they want their guy to be.
100%. My favorite thing is pretty much the Judgment Day as a whole. Honestly, if we're talking about, WWE television outside of Bloodline stuff, everything else, there had the triple main event today. There's a lot of intrigue for a lot of different reasons, but the way that they've been building up Rhea's start of this run that is probably going to be really fun and really dominant, heating back up Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Obviously, Damian Priest had a great showing at Backlash. Finn had a really good match the other night with Shinsuke, and he got the win, so they're keeping him looking strong. He was in that final there, or semifinal against Rollins too. I really just like everything the Judgment Day is doing, and I like the way that if we're touching the Bloodline storyline, the way Heyman is kind of working with the Judgment Day and Imperium too on Raw. That's a really interesting little wrinkle to Raw too. But Judgment Day right now is my favorite thing in WWE.
Heyman's always got that diversified portfolio, even if it's Curtis Axel. Partham, anything else sticking out to you before we wrap this up?
I I mean, if we're excluding the bloodline, I mean, I want to say Cody Rhodes is my favorite story that should be finished at some point. It's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense why Brock Lesnar's going after him. I mean, we're going on 2 pay-per-view matches, and the second one doesn't even have anything special. And it's like they're repeating last year's storyline with Seth Rollins, although this time it's just in kayfabe. And it would make so much more sense if Cody had the title and Brock Lesnar was going after the title. It's like a whole bunch of things between Cody and the bloodline make more sense if Cody went over at WrestleMania. Roman's descent into madness would make a lot more sense. You'd be blaming the Usos for not just the tag title loss, but for his title loss as well. I mean, Cody's over as ever. We were discussing in the pre-show just how the Saudi fans are embracing him, singing the entire song, not just the whoa part. So I want to say Cody's my favorite character. I just don't know if he's my favorite storyline.
I'll tell you who my favorite character is right now, Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio, his character, not himself. Dominic Mysterio is the biggest piece of shit in professional wrestling right now, and I am here for every single second of it. Money in the Bank is going to be so intriguing to me because they can go so many different directions. But that crowd in England is going to love Cody Rhodes. And can you imagine if Dominic Mysterio screws Cody Rhodes out of the Money in the Bank briefcase and takes it himself? That crowd might riot. It might be one of the greatest reactions in wrestling history. So I can see the Judgment Day jumping in and interfering. You know, he's the biggest piece of shit. I thought he was going to kind of lose some steam after losing to Ray after Mania, like they were going to wrap it up. Along with the Judgment Day, he has gotten even better with them, and I think he's the breakout star of 2023. And I would not be surprised if there was some gold around his waist at the end of the year.
Couldn't agree more.
One thing, Dom's been getting such nuclear heat. Mm-hmm. I mean, even that one that rivals MJF, and we just mentioned how WWE likes to pipe in cheers and boos. At what point, I mean, can we tell the difference between Dom's nuclear heat and piped in boos? Is it all melding together? Are they trying to keep that momentum up?
It's a dangerous precedent they're setting with it, because you have to even ask that question, right? So,
well, here's the thing: like, you know, they don't they want LA Knight to be a heel, and that's why they're trying to pipe the booze in. Like, and when he's getting cheers instead, nobody likes Dominic Mysterio. I mean, literally, his mom and sister don't even like him. That's how much he has. So there's really kind of a difference with that. But I just don't see a way where Dominic Mysterio is ever cheered again. He's that big of a piece of shit, and I love it.
All right. McAdoo, so favorite thing in WWE besides the Bloodline Challenge?
Oh, boy. Good luck.
So I'm going to go. So personally, I'm going to go with Ali. I think I'm happy that he finally gets his chance. He's pushed. He should have won the Money in the Bank briefcase back in 2019, and we all know how that ended. We were all miserable that night. WWE probably lost a lot of subscribers. Then now we go to tonight. Ali finally gets his chance, and he might win because of the Saudi verse, but we'll get into it later. And now how do we
was that out of protest to Ali Maniac, or?
No, not out of protest. My internet was protest.
Okay.
Let's see if it protests this one. I was bringing up Pat Moran chiming in here with his Maxim model chiming.
I'm with it.
Storyline, I'll say
it's a lot of fun.
Picking up more momentum than when whatever Rene Dupree or whatever
they're
had
also
LA Knight calling himself.
Apparently been pretty over on like live events and everything too. The whole ordeal there with Maxine involved. What were you gonna say?
But wait a minute. Are the maximum male models even a thing anymore? Like the original duo of Marseille and Mansoir, whatever the names are.
Well, Mansoir, he's feuding with Maxine on Twitter at least, so he's keeping it going.
Always good to keep the Twitter feud going.
The whole act apparently is very over like live crowds, like house shows, everything. They've been doing a lot of stuff there, so I don't know if it'll ever translate to TV, but it's been entertaining enough. They're doing good work on it. I really like Maxine and Gable with Otis, though. That's a really fun, like.
Well, there's been this dynamic between Chad Gable and Maxine where they're basically playing tug of war with Otis, whatever. And there was never a point where Maxine decided she wanted to go with Otis and Chad rather than stay with Mansay and Mansoir or whatever the heck. There was never like that definitive, turn or a change of alliance moment. So it just kind of evolved out of nowhere, I guess. It's a good dynamic character-wise, I guess, but it didn't make a lot of sense to just see them together now instead of something happening in between.
Seriously. And there can be a lot in between. And speaking of in between, let's get into it. Right now, we're talking Bloodline. Clearly the biggest storyline overall in WWE. It's eclipsed almost the WWE. And, is it safe to say layered storytelling did not really exist in WWE from 2014 to 20 recently?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's almost as if we could actually pinpoint the day where someone else took over where it started.
Yes. Okay, totally understood. Now, the thing we all agree with is that I think the layered storytelling of the Bloodline has surpassed anything we could have possibly imagined at this point, right?
Which
And
is
that's
crazy.
Why it's so good.
The pandemic probably did them a lot of favors because they were able to delve into a lot of like storytelling and just melodrama that they probably wouldn't have been able to do in front of live crowds with the Bloodline for that long, So I think that gave them a real good like foundation, and then bam, just
that's exploded. A good question. If they're trying to sell live event tickets, can they main event the first like title defense of Roman against Jey Uso?
That's a great question. I don't know what the live reaction's like. How big of a star is main event Jey Uso?
It sticks out now though, because when you see Jey and when you see Jimmy react, you can recall all the things they did. Like they're showing that on their face, like they're showing that in the motion. And so last night, just getting into it real quick, what they were doing a KO show, and Jimmy basically said he was the tribal chief McAdoo. Did that send a shiver down your spine?
No, not at all. We know.
Okay, not at all. Very confident, he says. With that said, okay, so you have him say that. Roman comes out immediately. Paul Heyman looks like scared, but they're kind of doing this defiant thing where they look him in his face and then they kind of get nervous and they look off to the side. They've both been doing that now, Jimmy and Jey. And then to end the segment last night, I guess the screenshot or whatever it was that Jimmy was all the way in the corner, not really doing the ones, right? Jey was doing the ones.
Well, Jimmy didn't want to hand over the tag titles symbolically to Roman, and Jey took them from Jimmy to hand to Roman, essentially. It's interesting how the dynamic is flipped, how Jey was sort of the defiant one in that classic Usi segment. Yes. He was the one saying, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says, and he's the one that's saying the wrong thing at the wrong time and having Roman give him the death stare, and now it's Jimmy's turn to have that kind of heat on him from the tribal chief.
We're literally seeing cracks in the foundation. It's Jey here, it's Jimmy here, and everyone seems to talk about the idea that Solo seems to be selling that he could. I'm not seeing it as much as other people. Are you guys seeing that he could go after Roman at any point? I'm not seeing it as much, but I like the angle.
Well, they are his brothers. So that's what it always comes down to for me is Roman is not his brother. So that Solo could just be that could be the first thing he said is these are my brothers. And you could symbolize is that. I think that I'm with you though. He hasn't shown it really on screen. There was the shoulder bump shoulder bump that we'll see on the eventual video package for all time when Roman ran into Solo. But that's really the only thing I can remember. Unless Partham, there's something else.
There's been an ominous element of Solo just sitting by and just watching all this unfold in front of him and seeing who he's, staring, daggers at at any given time between a backstage segment or an in-ring segment. His loyalty is still to Roman. He's still doing what Roman tells him to do or not to do, or hold back, don't do what I want you to do just yet. But I think Solo might be starting to realize that Roman is not what he thought he was, and without saying any words, he might turn on Roman at a critical moment in the distant future.
Point. It's a great point, and I mean, how could he not think that when Roman's claiming his biggest this big WrestleMania win and everything that Solo knows he basically won for him. So if he really wants, he could feel some type of way about. Solo could feel some type of way about a lot of things. If Solo's first promo is just him unleashing on Paul, on Roman, on his brothers, it would be crazy. I don't know if he's even capable of it, but
all he has to be is who kept you at the head of the table for the last 9 months, Oos.
True.
And also Solo's first name is literally Solo. So I mean, at some point, don't you think he's gonna walk away and do his own thing? I mean,
it's almost like the writing is on the wall.
His Solo to me, this is this is kind of sacrilegious to even suggest this, but it's getting to the point where Roman Reigns is Tony Soprano, where someone's gonna do the hit, but you just don't know which guy's gonna do the hit.
And that's great. It's all the better.
It is.
Any one of those three at any time it could happen today. It could happen on SmackDown.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Someone's gonna do the hit, and it's kind of like The Sopranos. Like Tony was always in angst with Paulie or with Chrissy, or you know what I'm saying. Like he always had enemies within, and this is kind of what the Bloodlines turned into. I think it's absolutely incredible. I think eventually Solo and Roman are gonna wrestle the Usos. And I think that is where the hit's going to happen. That's it might happen at the SummerSlam or something like that. But that's where I think the hit's going to happen.
Your enemies will always come as your friends. They never tell you when they're going to whack you. They'll come with smiles.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Wow,
that's a Goodfellas quote there. I love it, Bertram.
Michael P. Shakespeare over there. Well, McAdoo dipped out just in time for picks to begin as we get ready to make sense of WWE Night of Champions. As we get ready to make sense
in the afternoon.
Yeah, seriously. Right. As we get ready to make sense of WWE Night of Champions, we can make sense of the best deal this Memorial Day weekend. For a limited time, again, this weekend, Outlet Liquor is not just the place to buy a case, it's the place to save some face. Any customer who purchases a two 1.75 liter bottles of Tito's vodka will get both for the case price of $29.99 a bottle. That's practically 20% off, and the perfect way to get this Memorial Day weekend started. Outlet Liquor, George Urban Boulevard. Go take advantage of that awesome deal. Again, 2 1.75 liter bottles of Tito's vodka. What a way to start the weekend. Just $29.99 a bottle. Obviously, you need to be 21 or over. Real quick before we get into the picks. Does the Bloodline, Ernie, you kind of laid into this, that you think the hit happens at SummerSlam, which is basically right around NFL. That would be the same. Does anyone think the Bloodline doesn't last till SummerSlam?
Yes.
When you do,
you're going with a quick exit, huh?
wow.
Oh, I've got it all laid out. I got the booking in my head. I just got to wait till later on to dispense it for you guys. See what you think.
Okay, McAdoo. We got breaking news. McAdoo says his laptop froze, so he might be back in momentarily, and then we might have someone else joining us. We'll see,
Doing
folks.
a run-in.
But with that said, it is time to get rocking. It is time to get rolling. Night of Champions. Here we go. We'll go with the picks and get the banner in here. So for the first match, we'll kind of go with one that, to be honest, it would be shocking to see go any other way. We have a singles match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya. So here we go. Let's get underway. I'll start it off. Rhea Ripley can't lose this match. Natalya might do something that pisses her off and kind of does something. I don't know, but this should be a squash. Honestly, this should be a 4 minutes or less match in my opinion. And Rhea Ripley should obviously retain. That's my prediction.
I got nothing really else to add. It's Natalya's birthday. So are they just doing this to squash her on her birthday? That's a very Vince McMahon thing to do. So yeah, give me Rhea in 5 minutes.
Natalya should be booked a little bit better than what she's been in the last 2 or 3 years. One of the last graduates of the Heart Dungeon. She's one of the more better technical wrestlers, not just in the women's locker room, but in the whole locker room. So I'd want to see a strong showing from her at least, go 5-10 minutes at least. But this could be a 4 or 3 minute squash, and Rhea Ripley is just made to look strong. But yeah, Rhea's going to win.
First off, I just want to wish a happy 52nd birthday to Natalya. Second, the 0.00001% chance she had of winning this match went out the window when she criticized WWE in that interview this week. I'm not sure if you saw that or not, but any chance she had of winning, which was very, very minimal to begin with, went out the window with that interview. And yes, she should have been booked better in her career because she's an actual wrestler as opposed to the crap that the pervert former head of the company wanted her to do. I 100% agree. Yes, but she has no chance. Does she have a chance of winning tonight? No chance. No chance in hell.
Seriously, couldn't have said it better ourselves. Obviously, again, happy birthday to Natalya, but yeah, no chance in hell on your birthday, unfortunately. And we got McAdoo. He's not Frozen, but he's got Rhea, so he just chimed in there. And also, we have our other panels, Rob Ryan and Tisha P chiming in. They both are on Rhea Ripley as well, so that's a clean sweep for Mommy. Let's see, what else do we got here? We got another women's match. This one, I don't know why. It shouldn't feel lopsided in my mind. I mean, this is Asuka. This is the Empress of Tomorrow, which is probably technically today at this point. But, I mean, I feel like she should have a solid chance. I haven't looked at the odds at this one, but this feels like it would probably be Belair minus 400, minus 500 or something crazy, unfortunately. So with that said, and where WWE's at, I think that they're not taking the belt off of Belair. I think they're going to go with Bianca Belair. Ernie, what do you got? Oh, we got McAdoo back too as well.
So we got as of I look at the betting odds right now, Bianca Belair is actually minus 200, which is surprising, and then Asuka's plus 150. So
okay,
I'm still going to go with Bianca. I mean, if you want to talk about people who have been booked improperly since they joined WWE, after I would add Asuka to that list. Actually, I probably add every female to that list. But that's neither here nor there.
Asuka really has been screwed.
Yes, but I think Bianca is going to win today, even though I think Asuka should win. But that's a whole other story. Go ahead. Yep.
You got Parthy.
If they were going to pull the trigger with Asuka, they would have done it at WrestleMania. And some of us thought they were going to pull the trigger with Asuka at WrestleMania. But, I mean, Asuka, she's a SmackDown star, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, just like Bianca at this point, holding the Raw Women's Championship. But that's a whole nother can of worms that we could get into. I don't see them doing it here if they weren't going to do it at WrestleMania. So Bianca's going to retain. Simple as that.
I don't know. I don't honestly. I want to say Asuka here so bad because they've done this from the past before, where you think they're going to win at Mania, they don't, and then they give them at the next pay per view that they've had. And you know something? I'll bite the bullet. I'll take Asuka. I don't care. We'll chance it.
Love it.
Only plus 160 according to the odds.
That's not bad.
Not terrible. Micah, what do you got?
Have you guys seen the rumors about Bianca and the Street Profits turning heel this summer? Those were some rumblings about that. I don't know, remember where I saw it from. Maybe Pete, I don't know. So one of the random rumors. Who knows how credible it is? I do think I think that'd be an interesting way to kind of tinker with Bianca and keep this reign going. She's not losing. Like, I'm not picking against her to lose, at least. I think last time we did it, I said I'm not. She's Roman territory where it's going to be really hard for me to ever pick against her in a singles match. But I wonder if it's something where Asuka pushes her to a limit we haven't really seen her go to. Maybe she does something dastardly, hurts Asuka, something like that. And we start to see like, oh, let's go with Bianca. Like, what's going on? And add some intrigue. Because she needs there needs to be some kind of freshen up here. Like after this, if she's just going to win, I would hate to see it just be babyface Bianca, business as usual, like we were talking about before.
Oh, folks, and speaking of business as usual, let me tell you something. Business is about to pick up. Slick L in the house. Slick, the floor is yours.
Let's go.
My God, that's Slick's music.
I apologize for my tardiness. But you know, being a bit late's better than not showing up at all.
We needed a run-in.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Speaking of which, it's not too late to get to Outlet Liquor. Take advantage of that 1.75 liter Tito's vodka deal. Slick.
Oh shit, that sounds good.
Ripley, Natalia. Who do you got?
What a joke, Ripley.
Yeah, we were. I mean, that's basically what we said. Same. And then now Asuka Belair. A little bit of a tougher call. We have one panel member on Asuka.
Really?
It's McAdoo.
Oh wow, okay, I wouldn't expect.
Oh, actually, and Rob Ryan on his panel pick. So Rob Ryan and McAdoo on the same page.
Wow.
Little rarity there.
Yeah.
Saudiverse only.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bianca. I'm gonna go with Bianca.
Okay, Miss Slick's gonna go with Bianca. All right, so we're all caught up, and we have 5 more matches still here. Very interesting show, I will say. But here we go. We're gonna go with the Ring General Gunther versus Mustafa Ali in Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions. Ernie, why don't you kick this off? We'll go around the horn here, part them too.
I love Ali. I love that they're actually putting him back in a position where he can have some big matches. Having said that, Gunther, I think, is someone who's not only going to hold the Intercontinental Champion for a long time, but he's going to be a major player in the world title picture at some point, sooner rather than later. I can see him winning the Rumble next year after, he's parlaying that great performance at last year's Rumble into a big 2023 and probably 24. No doubt Gunther wins this match.
So basically Gunther, Bianca, and Roman are basically all in the same boat in that they've been the title holders for so long that it'll take someone that the fans are really behind and the company's really behind for that to even be a possibility in the future. So I am basically going with Darling Gunther.
Oh my god,
That was great.
that was,
I can't.
If Ali is going to win it, it's going to be here. That being said, I don't think he's going to get it done. It's going to be Gunther.
I think Gunther's going to destroy Ali. I think it's going to be a bad night for Ali. I think that they're enjoying that crowd's going to be so hyped for Ali, and Gunther is going to crush him. Yeah, sorry, Ali.
Oh, like Ernie said, I'm glad, or whoever said it, I'm glad Ali's getting this spot. It's great for him. I think this will be a great match, honestly. I don't think it'll be a total squash, Jake, but Gunther's definitely going to come out on top. And yeah, he's like you said, he's going to do bad things to Ali. It's not going to be a great night for him. It'll be a good match, though. I look forward to this one, but I got Gunther.
I'm ready for the positive spin from Ali after this. That's what I'm most excited about.
The only positive thing is I'm positive our entire panel is on the ring and around Gunther. All right, so now we're going to go to a match that obviously could headline a quote-unquote WrestleMania, but we're kind of doing for the third time here, and it's kind of getting a little weird. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
Triple main event.
Triple main event. A Saudi show unlike any other. There's been some speculation online. Ernie, do you have any insight into that? They said they're running back some Dusty Rhodes storyline where he was like his leg was broken or something.
Well, they had two angles. One was like a Dusty actually saved Ric Flair from the Russians, like Nikita Koloff and Isla Koloff, and like the thanks he got was that the Horseman came down and broke his arm in the cage, and there was a near riot at the Omni that night, which is great because and then they had another angle where like the Horseman quote unquote hired a cameraman and they attacked Dusty Rhodes in the parking lot and broke his leg. I mean, so either one of those two could be it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, so there
was another guy in the company there was another guy in WWE, by the way, who got his arm broken by Brock Lesnar, and so who has a kind of higher up position in WWE. So
this is kind of like a rite of passage almost.
Yes.
Wow. Rhodes, Stephanie McMahon storyline incoming could be. With that said, Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I just can't see. The only way that I can see Lesnar winning is if this is somehow going to Money in the Bank, which is I don't think this is going to Money in the Bank. So I'm gonna say Rhodes probably has the most gnarly arm wound or something. There'll be a point where they're gonna treat Cody Rhodes like he's basically dead. They'll be doing the Jim Ross somebody should stop this for the Cody Rhodes thing for sure, and he'll somehow win. Again, I don't think it can be a dominant win, but it's just such a weird spot with where this feud is at. I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes. Slick, what do you got?
This one's a toss-up, but I kind of disagree. I think this is getting extended a little bit more. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Brock. I don't know what to expect with a lot of this, especially with that arm broken thing, how they're playing that into the storyline, but that I just lost it yesterday when Cody showed up to the press conference in the sling. I mean, that's just amazing.
The one-armed woe.
Huh? Yeah, I know. Right? Oh my god. Dedication, I guess. But I think I'm gonna pick Brock, and it's probably gonna bite me in the ass. But I'm gonna pick Brock just because I think this gets extended a bit more.
And you're a UFC guy, so you're always gonna go with the UFC guy. So
for sure.
He's a worker's worker. All right, before I go, the one thing, have you guys seen the theory about potentially Triple H, maybe the storyline being that he has enlisted Brock to go after Cody because he's trying to keep him away from the WWE title picture and everything? They brought him back in the other day. I don't know if I believe that, but they hasn't really given a reason yet for why Brock, there's not been a definitive reason why Brock's going after Cody, so it does kind of provide something. For what it comes to the match, guys, I think this is going to SummerSlam in Hell in a Cell. I think Money in the Bank, whatever one of these guys is in Money in the Bank, the other one's costing them the Money in the Bank. I don't think this match happens. I think this is a no contest, and Brock obliterates Cody Rhodes around the arena.
So finish the story. We're only in chapter 3, basically.
2.
Oh, we're not
3.
even
Yeah, this is chapter 3 of Finish the Story. Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. That's gonna be Cody's match. We're talking about Triple H. He's passing on the Hell in a Cell to Cody. He goes and finishes off Brock there with selling his one arm again in Hell in a Cell. So yeah, I think this is honestly, I think a no contest. If you want to make me make a pick, I'll pick Brock, but I want to pick no match.
Since when do we hate long-term booking?
I think this is a good. I think this is, if you're gonna do it, go give me Hell in a Cell, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar, please.
A storyline where Brock Lesnar is like the assailant of Triple H who wants to keep Cody Rhodes out of the title picture because WWE is making record profits. Like and you saw Cody come from a pissant company where he threw a sledgehammer against the throne. Like it all writes itself. It all literally writes itself. So I mean, just do it. But yeah, like it almost seems like too easy.
No contest.
Mac Stu, what do you got?
So I know momentum-wise you want to go Cody, but he's got a kayfabe broken arm. If Lesnar loses, that's going to hurt his stock in the company.
Unless, McAdoo, 1 second. Is Cody Rhodes with one arm just 99 overall? Because he did beat Seth Rollins with one arm already. So what if that's just his like super
Let's break his arm for every match then. We'll do that. It'll be the Finn Balor demon until they ruin that.
One arm Cody.
That sounds so wrong.
You got a point.
But you're gonna Brock for
all right, Brock for McAdoo. Parthy, what do you got?
Out of all these matches, this one is probably the hardest one to pick. Every other match seems to be, destined to go one way, only one way. Maybe the Trish Becky Lynch we'll get into in a second. That could go either way, but I've got to take on that. Like we just said, Cody had a broken arm last year, and they put him over Seth Rollins anyway. A legit torn pectoral and an arm hanging off that he couldn't use, he could barely use, and they put him over Seth anyway. I think most of us predicted Cody to go over regardless at that point. And if they're not going to have him lose with a real injury, how are they going to have him lose with a fake injury? Except they're trying to sell Brock as, this injuring beast guy who Cody just can't overcome if he's only got one arm. You're right, Maniac. The story does write itself with Triple H and Cody if they were going to go in that direction. But as I alluded to before, this whole thing makes more sense if Cody had the title and Brock just wanted the title back, and now it's available to him because Roman doesn't have it. I think what they should do, regardless of broken arm or not, kayfabe or not, is have Cody go over Brock. But what they're going to do is carry this to SummerSlam because they're WWE. And apparently, if you believe certain reports, little hints here and there, Roman's not going to get up the title until maybe next year's WrestleMania at the latest. So as much as we want to see Cody go to Money in the Bank, call a shot at SummerSlam, it doesn't look like that's where they're going. I think this is going to be a trilogy of some sorts. Brock will get his win back here. I hope, in a way, I hope I'm wrong, but I think Brock Lesnar's going over. And he'll just put Cody away, much like John Cena at SummerSlam.
That Triple H angle where Triple H is the guy behind Brock Lesnar is very, very good. I think the other angle that can be very good is a guy who came out immediately on Raw Monday after Cody got attacked by Brock and said we had nothing to do with it, and that's Mr.
That's
Paul
exactly
Heyman.
what I was thinking, Ernie.
Mr. Paul Heyman and the Bloodline, and also they have history. They have history with Paul Heyman. Obviously, has history with Brock Lesnar, so I can see that. I can see that happening. Also, he's making all these alignments and all these people that are aligning to prevent Cody from getting to Brock. So I think either direction would be very good. Mikey, you're gonna go ahead.
I just had a question for you. Where does Triple H fit in then? Is he just showing up for the one off to give Cody the encouragement?
I think it's. I just say either Triple H being behind Brock or Paul Heyman being behind Brock would be great. I think they're both spectacular angles. I just think it's Paul Heyman behind Brock and the Bloodline. That's my prediction. I would love Triple H to be also because
that's where the feud technically started. Was that tag match?
True
against Roman. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But Roman wouldn't like the idea of Paul Heyman hiring Brock as a hired gun. That's why Roman gave the impression that I don't know what's going on here. We're just going to slick out the back door while they settle this
Which would
themselves.
add to the intrigue of the bloodline, because the person he seems closest with is Paul Heyman right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, him and Paul Heyman seem to be on the only two people in the bloodline in complete concert, like complete, cohesiveness. And now, what if they don't have the complete cohesive?
Right?
Like,
And Paul,
because Roman could come out and say, "Listen, like, I don't want to face Cody again, but I don't want to deal with Brock either. I don't trust him." You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something as simple as that. But I getting back to the match, I do think Brock wins tonight to set up like a cage or Hell in a Cell match at the SummerSlam.
There is one flaw with that launch that I just thought of. Why would Brock go along with keeping Cody away from Roman as long as Roman is champion? Brock can't challenge for that championship.
Heyman might have thrown in a little incentive,
Well,
who
Brock's,
knows?
you would think, making buku dollars, from his regular contract, not to mention anytime he goes over to Saudi.
Maybe
he's already
he just,
swimming in money. Up in his,
I didn't say that. Maybe like an exception to not challenging for that title again.
Well, that would really piss Roman off.
Yeah, but what if?
I was gonna say about Paul.
Roman might not
Is Paul just out scouting on the outside again because he's worried about the bloodline? Is that what he's actually doing? Like teeing up with Imperium, teeing up with Judgment? Like, he's just like ready to jump ship to wherever he needs to go after? That's
Paul Heyman. He's kind of like a Pat McAfee. He's looking for his next network that he might be on, like after the success.
Remember when Paul was throwing the belt into the ring when those two had a match?
It's true.
Just do it. Fine.
Real quick, so we've broken down 4 matches. We have, a couple sweeps with Ripley and Gunther. Just real quick, because we were talking about maybe some WWE Night of Champions trivia. Buffalo, New York hosted Night of Champions in 2011. Does anybody remember the main event?
Was that Triple H?
Cody Rhodes?
Jeff Hardy?
No.
Edge?
No.
Nope. You're close, Slick.
That was Battleground. I'm thinking of Battleground.
It was Triple H versus CM Punk in a no disqualification match.
Wow.
That's all. There was nothing on the line, I guess. So that was Night of Champions in that one. I was looking at some other data. This is the first Night of Champions where the WWE title will not be on the line. It's also the first Night of Champions where the U.S. title won't be on the line in its history. So that's a little crazy. And then real quick, before we get into our final 3-match picks, I wanted to just do this. 2007, first Night of Champions. It was called Vengeance Night of Champions. 5-pack challenge for the WWE Championship. Who was in the match? 2007.
Was Batista in there?
Nope.
Well, Cena's got to be one, I bet.
Cena was the champion.
Edge, Orton.
Orton was in it. No Edge. So you got 2 of 5.
HBK?
No HBK. One of these 3 guys is still on the active roster.
Sheamus?
Nope.
No,
Still on the active roster.
Wow.
R-Truth?
2007.
Oh,
2010. Or no,
Is R-Truth one of them? He's still on the roster.
No, that would
He
be
was in
amazing
TNA.
if he was in,
Who
if he
is
was in Vengeance Night
07?
of Champions main event match. The one,
07.
two of them in the last couple. The 2 who aren't on the active roster in the last couple of years have both been
Kofi?
on TV with WWE. No
Kofi?
No. Nope. You're close though.
Wade Barrett?
God. You know what I'm thinking of? What the hell? The guy.
Oh, wait. ECW. Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
Bobby
I
Lashley.
was just thinking
Yep,
of, yeah.
recent champion Bobby Lashley. So there we go. So we got John Cena, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, and 2 others, both who haven't wrestled recently, but have been on WWE TV in capacities. for
Carlito.
sure. Nope. That would be amazing though.
2007.
Was 2007 the era of King Booker?
King Booker.
King Booker,
Is
okay.
one of them.
Oh, that's one of them? Oh, wow. I was.
Yeah, Booker,
And-
Orton, Lashley, Cena, and this man. Like, not exactly the most athletic of the bunch.
Great Khali.
Nope. Just relative to those guys. I mean, he's like literally he's a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was he already
Shelton, Benjamin.
retired at that time? Technically,
No, he was on his way out to being retired.
Shelton.
Shelton's
no.
he's athletic.
Oh, not
He
athletic.
was recently a general manager.
JBL?
Teddy Long.
Nope.
recently.
recently, last
We haven't
5
had
years.
General managers. in a
MVP.
while.
MVP.
Nope. I'm talking about of a show, not of a wrestler.
Oh.
A general manager of a show. Oh my god.
So it can't be Kurt
Kurt
Angle
Angle.
because Kurt Angle was gone.
Kurt Angle was gone.
Daniel
It
Bryan
can't be
wasn't
Foley
there
because
yet.
Foley's 150 years old, and I don't think he was there in
Mick
2007.
Foley.
It was Foley?
It was Cena
What?
versus Foley versus Lashley versus.
Wait a
Owens
minute.
versus
Wait a
King
minute. Wait a
Booker.
minute. Foley had technically retired in 2000.
Yeah.
Technically,
That's
but
what
he's-
I was asking.
He's still wrestling with WWE.
Well, he's
Mick Foley.
he's retired and he's a part-time wrestler.
Oh yeah, I can't
They-
be like,
I
yeah, you
can't
retired
believe-
way earlier. But yeah, insane. Cena, Foley, Lashley, Orton, King Booker.
Mick
I
Foley's
gotta
the
tell you
last
something.
person I would
I
guess.
0% would I think that Foley was. I was just naming off random GMs I can think.
Oh
of.
yeah, Foley. I
Like,
mean,
I was-
him being
I
in that
didn't-
match
That's why I
was
didn't guess
hysterical.
it.
He's a
Well, I
hysterical.
wasn't
awesome.
guessing. I was just naming off GMs.
All right, but speaking of something that's not hysterical, the beef between Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch has gotten real, folks. And they're going to go to battle. This could go either way, truthfully. Obviously, I think, let's face it, the Saudi Arabia crowd loves when their nostalgic acts win. WWE might be anxious to get that to them. Becky Lynch probably, just for the trajectory, could use the win. With that said, Ernie, why don't you fire us up? Why don't you start this one off? Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch.
I think this is another feud that's going to have its blowout at the SummerSlam, and I think the way that happens is if Trish Stratus wins today.
Yeah, what we were hearing is that this was going to culminate at SummerSlam. We just didn't know that we were going to get the first match this soon. But yeah, it seems like this is another one they're going to draw out with another rematch or two. So Trish goes over for the time being.
Trish wins in some dirty way.
Shenanigans, yes.
Yeah, Legends in the Saudiverse are like 101 overall, so Trish is gonna go over here. This has got to go on. This is definitely going on further than this. And that was a fun contract signing too on Monday night. A lot of intrigue to this.
I'm getting a chance to go against the grain with Becky Lynch.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
a good
Spike.
all
go for
day.
it.
Yeah.
I'm taking that every single time. I think Becky's just as big of a star that Saudi wants to see win. I mean, I know that they have the Legends thing for sure, and you know Goldberg's not on the card, but Trish Stratus is.
If only.
I don't think it's the same. I'm going to take Becky Lynch. If you're telling me I'm going against everyone and I have to take the man, I'm putting all my chips on the table. Give me
Seriously,
Becky
I'm not
Lynch.
hesitating. I'm betting Lynch as well. We have Rob Ryan on Becky, and we have Tisha on Trish. So majority of the panel on Trish there. Let's get into it. This is a big one, and the fun thing is you want to talk about shenanigans. They're going to be at the 10x multiplier in this one. Tag team match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa with Paul Heyman. A duo who basically, if you were had a WWE game, they're basically a combined 97. Like Solo Sikoa being a 95, Roman Reigns being a 99.
99, yeah.
Yeah, so it's tough to imagine how they're gonna lose. With that said, I want to kick it off. I don't think there's any way Owens and Sami Zayn can lose. It's just the trajectory of where they're going. I like where they're going with the foundations of the bloodline. I guess you could see maybe some shenanigans with the Usos running in. Maybe one of them accidentally hits the other. That could be the first time you really see some Uso on Uso crime. And so I will go with KO Zania to kick this one off. Slick, what do you got?
I think it would be so WWE to put these tag titles on.
When Roman was holding 4 titles at once on SmackDown, it looked ridiculous.
Dude,
Oh, boy.
if they did that, it'd be like even more OP than Kenny the belt collector Omega.
With his 3
Right.
titles.
Yeah, right. I think that Sami Zayn and Owens win, but there's some stuff that goes into it. I think this might be the beginning of tension and a potential feud down the line that we may see with Solo and Roman. Because I think if Roman does drop that title, one of the best guys on the active roster to give him a first real challenge is Solo. So, and obviously the story writes itself, but I think Sami and Owens win. Just like you were maybe pointing out, like Usos might interfere with this, but I think this is the beginning of the distrust between Roman and Solo, because Solo seems to be the only one right now in the bloodline that he really has faith in. So I'm going to go with Sammy and Cody.
That the visual, I can't underestimate them just putting over Roman Reigns and just giving us the visual of all those titles, or making the Usos hold Roman's tag titles is a thought that has just sat with me for a while, where he's in the ring on next Friday and he's like, no, you guys actually carry these for me, is a great thing. I don't know if today's the day. If they do all this, I think that they're teasing all this drama to do it all out on TV, maybe. I don't know. I'm not picking against Roman Reigns just for the picks. I'm picking Roman and Solo, and then we'll get some bloodline drama. I do think we're ending up with a fatal 4-way between these four at SummerSlam. That's where I think this ends up, is a bloodline fatal 4-way. So I don't know if the breakup happens today. It does feel like there's a lot of time left to go. I don't know if I can pass up. I'm not picking against Roman. I said it earlier. I'm not doing it today.
So you have Roman 4 belts.
I think Jimmy tries to stop him. Jay falls in line, stops Jimmy. Roman spear on one of them.
Oh my God.
All of them. That's what I think happens.
Yeah. Oh my God, Roman. All right, go. All right, go on. What do you got, McAdoo? I am almost dreading this.
No, it's not. Roman's not winning today. You heard it here first, folks.
Wow.
The Usos will turn on Roman Reigns, and it will cost them. Solo will take the fall, and that's your fatal 4-way right there.
Oh my.
That's clean. I like that.
Well, if there's anybody that's going to take the fall, it would be Solo more than Roman. Of course, Roman can't take a pinfall in any, form or fashion. I mean, can you just imagine Roman becoming the new Triple H meme, where he's holding his arms out and he's got every belt known to man on his arms and his waist?
Yeah.
But I mean, if Roman's going to go away for a while, he's going to take the WWE titles with him after SummerSlam. Then why would they do that to the tag titles as well? Because he's not going to look. Well, okay, he could win the tag titles, and then Solo could take the pinfall and lose the titles back to either KO and Sammy or somebody else afterwards. But for the bloodline drama, and I don't know if the Usos are going to show up either because they were told in kayfabe to go home, or maybe Saudi is one of those countries where they're not allowed to go in, or maybe that's expired for some reason. But whether the Usos show up or not, I think there's going to be some Roman Solo miscommunication. Maybe the Usos try to help out at a critical juncture, and then Roman tells them off. I didn't tell you to come out here. I'm doing this myself. And then KO and Sammy, hit him when him or Solo when they're not looking. But either way, I think KO and Sammy have to keep up their momentum, and Roman Solo can go back to the bloodline drama and try to work all this out. Of course, it's not going to be worked out. I don't know if it results in a tag team match at SummerSlam or a fatal 4-way or whatever. But I mean, okay, Roman is rumored to be defending the belt at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. Picture that, a title holder defending his world title at a big event.
Who would have thought?
It's a crazy concept.
Novel concept, but whatever way it goes after this, KO and Sammy, I think, are going to win.
Yeah, I think KO and Sammy are going to win. The biggest money thing in WWE right now is the bloodline drama, and the bloodline drama will increase if something happens where somebody costs Roman and Solo the match today. So I think they're and the ref's not there.
I think the bloodline put out a hit on Ernie.
The bloodline did not like that response from Ernie. So
no, they did not.
Ernie, sorry, you just lagged there for 5 seconds. Are you back?
Oh yeah, I'm here. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, what do you have happening with the ref? Sorry, go again.
No, I just think I could see a spot where where Roman or Solo has one of them pinned and the ref's not there because the Usos have the ref distracted or something like that, and so it shows that the bloodline should have won, and then they can use that footage and just increase the drama. I got Sammy and KO today.
Yeah, so that puts because Tisha and Rob are on KO Zania as well. So we have 7 on KO Zania and then Micah on Roman. So again, can't blame someone for picking Roman Reigns to win a wrestling match. I mean, plain and simple, I agree with you there. With that said, do any of us think that KO Zania could possibly win this match clean?
No.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I think we're all expecting shenanigans. I want to make that clear.
Roman,
Okay,
Roman is a very he's OP wrestler obviously in general, but also a very fun tag team. I'm just excited for this match in general because Roman's a very fun tag team wrestler. Like when he started out, that was what he got over him was his power moves as a hot tag with the Shield. So I'm very excited to see how they work this out with Owens and Zayn, who are two of the best ever.
his trash talking could be insane today.
What's on your man McAdoo?
Yeah, McAdoo, what do you got?
Dirt Sheets are saying that match is going to close.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Obviously, the rumor is that this next match is going to open. So with that said, we have the tournament final for the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship. Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles. This is a dream match. This is a internet, wrestling WrestleMania main event dream. Rollins, Styles, both at interesting points in their career for sure, based on the roads they've had to go to get here. In the tournament, let's see if I can pull this up. It was Rollins initially defeating Priest and Nakamura in a triple threat and then beating Balor heads up. And it was AJ Styles initially beating Edge and Rey Mysterio in kind of a surprising result there, and then defeating Bobby Lashley to reach here. The one thing that changes, guys, I know that, we've had some discussion where is this belt just going to be completely meaningless, is viewed as like a non, not completely meaningless, but like a non-factor to Roman's belt, et cetera, et cetera. The fact that, they kind of clarified that this is a continuation of the, previous big gold belt. And the fact that Triple H played a huge role with that belt, I think you don't have to worry about that, in my opinion. I think that whoever wins this is going to be absolutely like the people's title for sure. I think that they kind of have the show thing for basically Roman's title is for the stock price, and this belt is going to be for the fans. This is crazy enough how I view it. So with that said, I think we can expect a banger of a match. I would be very disappointed if this match went under 20 minutes, just because I think both these guys could absolutely cook, and this should be a memorable match. If I was WWE, I want people remembering. I want people talking about this match. It's like when they were launching the Universal title, Balor and Rollins put on a banger for sure, even though Balor got injured, obviously. So with that said, Seth freaking Rollins, AJ Styles, anybody want to kick it off?
I can go if you want me to.
All right,
Yeah,
Ernie,
start,
launch us out.
I'll
Launch us out.
So
We'll
first
go
off,
around.
the least of my worries when Triple H is in charge is a belt not having any meaning. I mean, he's made the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title have meaning again. So the World Heavyweight Championship will have meaning, and I think it will be eventually elevated to an equal as soon as the belt is off Roman Reigns. There's no way possible you could introduce a world title right now and have it be on the same par with Roman Reigns unless they beat Roman Reigns for that title. That's just how it is in WWE. Like you said, Maniac, one for the people, one for the stockholders. I think Seth Rollins is going to win an absolute banger. That's going to be a match of the year candidate today.
WWE on BT Sport on Twitter put out a graphic of all the people that Roman Reigns has defended the Universal title against. You know who's not on that list? Seth freaking Rollins. He's the only guy who can right now make that title legitimate by the fact that he can brag that Roman Reigns has not defeated him in a match during his unified title reign. So he's really the only choice, as far as I'm concerned, to give this new title some sort of legitimacy. And hopefully he can just put on banger match after banger match, going forward to give it even more legitimacy. So Seth Rollins wins.
I'll be careful this time not to show a nipple like last time, but...
What the hell?
Here he goes.
Is there any other way this match is going to end? Like Parthen just said, he never lost to Roman. The only guy you can really put it on is this guy. Seth Rollins will have the crowd going, like this, while he's also waving the title over his head. And I'm not doing that like he does because I don't want to hit anything. But Seth freaking Rollins, baby.
I love it. You guys know I was going to pick Seth Rollins no matter what here. I do think that they've been very intentional about telling us. I mean, they've told us the first guy when they announced it, who came out right away, Seth Rollins. They've had these really focused interviews the last 2 weeks while he's been off filming Marvel, which is apparently the rumor why he's opening this match is that he needs to get back to wherever they're filming to finish his Marvel duties. So he really only came into Jeddah for this match, and now he's got to fly out. That's the rumor.
What a badass.
I think that I think that a good way to open with this match is what you're saying, Ernie. If you give him 30 minutes, 35, just give it to him at the beginning and just let him. Don't even give him a time. Like tell him after 30, figure it out or something. Like let these guys go in there. These are two of the best in-ring workers we've seen the last 10, 15 years in the world. And I think that that's the only reason AJ is opposite of Rollins, honestly, is we know Rollins is going to win. So like, just put on the best possible match in the biggest showcase possible, and Styles is the perfect opponent for that. We've only seen them once against each other in WWE. I think 2019 they had a match, so there's a lot that they could go off of. I think it's going to be an incredible match, and yeah, Seth Rollins holding the world heavyweight title, swinging it around his head.
Pretty much stole the words out of my mouth, so I'll keep it short and sweet. I got Seth Rollins, but it's going to be a hell of a match for sure.
Clean sweep for Seth so far?
Would anybody's pick have been wavering a little bit if they had put Edge in that spot where AJ Styles is? After he gave that little promo, I got to finish my story, and his past with Seth Rollins.
No,
just the way that Edge was telling the story, he was saying it was going to be his last hurrah. I could have totally seen that for sure, and then it would have put crazy Rollins off the edge. I mean, the thing is, I just know that now, no matter what you give Rollins to work with,
I think
it's gonna work.
Edge Rollins at SummerSlam, that's what's going to happen. Edge on the chase of Rollins at SummerSlam, trying to beat his mortality and go after him. I think that's the play now.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, that would be.
I don't know, where did Edge get drafted to? What is it? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Edge is basically an omnipresence, so it doesn't matter.
Or maybe it's Von Wagner, the free agent, because they.
But folks, we have made sense of it all. Let's see if I can pull this up here.
I love seeing that Roman solo. That's the one.
Yep.
Right
so
there.
you see here, we're all on Ripley, we're all on Seth, all but one on Roman. Which, truthfully, yeah, I mean, and historically, that's always gone against us, and that Roman's always been profitable. Got Gunther. Only two of us on Cody Rhodes, me and Tisha. Everyone else is on Brock, and then we got some toss-ups with the rest. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to see what we got going on, and obviously looking forward to heading to a great afternoon of champions, boys.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
The champ is here. And folks, don't forget, it's not the show where it's wrestling with your budget. For our panel, Ernie Green, Mike Partham, Mike Adu, Micah, Slick L, and myself, it's not the show where you're wrestling with your conscience. It is the show. It is wrestling with emotion.
Scissor me, Micah.
What? I thought
I'm going to say that for tomorrow.